Alright guys, so we're back in the garage on a night after work, and obviously we got a common rail set up here on the stand, and is somewhat, it's going together. There's a crank in it that's torqued and everything. And Andy is putting the rods and pistons together. Get a look at those. So what do we have going on here? What is happening?
Due to unforeseen circumstances, I actually saw the circumstances, we were putting an engine together to stick back in the third gen, so I don't kill myself, basically. That is the premise of what's happening here.
Yeah.
It's going to be using the parts that I had on hand for that guy. So Street Fighters, main studs, just new bearings all the way through it. Scotch-Brite the deck surfaces, 625s, and send it.
Yep. So you guys really don't even know. I put a little teaser in the end of the video about the second gen, but Andy bought a regular cab short bed and half-ton second gen that we're gonna swap third gen axles under and make it low and make it very fast and light, because obviously the third gen weighs what, 60, well, it weighs 65 gutted.
Yeah, basically just without rear seats in it.
Yeah, so it's kind of heavy to be doing that, and it needs, I don't know, like you said, it's a lot more fun to drive, obviously, than the Sierra. The Denali is very, very nice, but it is not what driving the third gen is. It's not the same experience. Andy's had that truck for, what, how long? 7, 8 years?
Going on 8, yeah.
Going on 8 years, so need to get it brought back to life. He's got some flux injectors headed this way, and what, 67, or we're going to test some turbos too for Dunk, probably.
Yeah, I'm going to play with some turbos. Like, I already have the T4 manifold, so
yeah, we got that T4 Ronin, so we got that HE500 from Dunk. He's also going to send out his new S3 setup, which are super gangster. We're kind of excited to show you guys those.
We've got downpipe flanges for just about everything, so
yeah,
you name it, it can go on.
So we'll use third gen, do some turbo testing and things of that sort, but that is what is going down with this. So I'm going to grab some B-roll of this thing going together, maybe tips or tricks that Andy might think of as it's going together. I know a lot of you guys put engines together, and Josh McCormick does a very good job of filming.
I've seen this a couple times recently. Using the Common Rail 5967 factory stiffener plate, ARP main studs, 12 main studs come with these 12-point hardware. You cannot put one here. It will hold the mounting flange of the pickup tube up, and you torque it down, it cracks it. Bing, bang, boom, no oil pressure. Yeah. So don't do that. Use the factory T40 that was in there.
Very good tech tip there. Don't want to do that and learn the hard way. So anything else that we come across as we're going together, we'll let you know. Like I mentioned, if you're wanting somebody to go through specs with you and kind of go slow with it, Josh McCormick, obviously, he makes a bunch of videos of putting these engines together, and it does work, and they are good videos. So definitely hop on over to his channel. I think it's still Horse Torques Diesel, but there's some good information on there. But this is something that we do often, so second nature, kind of. But that's what is happening, and that's what's going together. So we'll film it coming together, and then we'll film going to get the third gen and bringing it back and all that stuff, because it's going to use Andy's pretty gangster trans. It's going to use this engine, and then obviously there's other stuff that has to happen that we'll be doing to the truck as well. There's normal third gen stuff, some of it, and some of it daily driver stuff. So, so what is the point of what you're doing? What are we got one piston in. What is happening?
So one piston end torqued, and we are making sure it clears the camshaft and the block over here. So stock common rail rods are bolts to cam. That means you come around here and look at the face of the cap. These bolts will normally be this way, facing the cam, and they will hit right about there. You'll feel like it's locked up. So we're just making sure everything clears before we go any further.
So, and this is a thing for 12 valve guys as well, because my rods hit my Hamilton cam and I had to grind a spot off of it. So it's just good practice where you get them all in before you go ham and get the engine all the way together. Rotate the thing over, make sure it's not hitting. And it's different scenarios for each deal, but obviously this being common rail and getting street fighters, want to make sure. So when going back together with an engine, there can be a multitude of reasons you put a new oil pump in it. This one, it was a 300,000 mile engine. The oil was absolutely atrocious. We know the history of this truck. This was in my brother's dually whenever it gave out. Pretty much previous owner that he'd bought it from right before had treated it terribly. So obviously a little bit of failure analysis there would tell you to put a new oil pump in it, but it's also good practice. That is the heart of what is going to make this thing happy. Regardless of if you've had oil pump issues in the past, you should always consider that. And when going back in with a new one, are you pretty much, it's got to be a Cummins oil pump, or what's the deal?
Yeah, unless you're a 12 valve guy, then Interstate might be your heart away. But 24 valve and common rail should be Cummins.
Yeah. Pretty good rule of thumb there. Was there anything else that we could think of? We went over the rods. Yes.
Touch base on
But
ring gap.
yeah, obviously ring gap's a big deal as far as what you're using the truck for, if it's going to see nitrous, if it's going to be literally bone stock, if it's going to be 1,000 horsepower and just beat on, if it's going to see a lot of heat, etc., etc. And checking ring gap is good practice, because as Andy saw with these, usually the Cummins ones are pretty much on the money. Yeah, and they're consistent. These Mala ones, I mean, this is the second set in the past month that you've looked at.
Yeah,
What do you find?
I bought a set to gap for this when it was going in that truck. They were all at the bottom of the common rail, 5.9 common rail spec, which is 0.13. They're actually tighter than that. And I opened them up to 0.32. These, straight out of the box, same part number from the same company. They all, the top ring at least, on all of them was 5 thou wider. So honestly, that put those right where I wanted them for intended use here. Obviously, ring gap is only going to save you so much. Piston to wall means more than ring gap ever will. But it's always good to double check.
Yeah. So even though they're brand new out of the box and Mall is a reputable brand, things can happen, and your ring gap can be immensely different. It's going to be within the spec, but obviously they have a tolerance of what they can be when they're shipped out. So they can be a little bit all over the place. So definitely a good thing to check.
I'd say the same thing goes for bearings.
Yeah.
If you videoed any of it, you will see me checking the size and part number on every bearing I put on either rod cap, or main cap, just to ensure that they are all in fact the same and there's not a undersized or oversized bearing mixed in. Given our field of work,
Yeah.
we do see that.
That is literally something we see every day, so it's burned into our heads. It's something that is not uncommon. Obviously, we have our own warehouse folks, and they pick the parts, and sometimes stuff gets mixed up, but same thing can happen to you if something is shipped to your door. It's always good to check, because you will have a very much not happy engine, and you yourself will be very upset and probably never want to put it together an engine again on your own, which is a shame, because most overcomplicate it. It's actually something worth doing, in my opinion, at least once in your lifetime, to appreciate kind of what goes into it and how particular you got to be. So those are all kind of the quick tips I can think of for tonight. Obviously, we're going to throw all the rods and pistons in it and get them torqued. And then Andy's going to move on to some stuff tomorrow. I'm going to try and get the camera charged up tonight because it's almost dead. And then maybe if he does something tomorrow, he can film it.
Alright guys, next morning after that last clip, Bruce and I are out in the garage inspecting the fine work we did at approximately 1:30 a.m. So now what you're seeing here is a pretty well ready to go short block. Aside from cleaning some crap off the deck surface, pickup tube is on and torqued. Next steps here, throwing the oil pan on and the rear main seal housing and cleaning up this mess that I've made. But Bruce and I are going to hop in the truck here in a bit, go get some caffeine, and then we are headed south to pick up some seats, hopefully for the third gen. What do you think, buddy? You want to go for a ride? Yeah, that's the Bruce ready signal. Alright guys, much shorter drive than I expected. I found something else on Marketplace after that last clip, but Brute and I are here at Stutzman Auto Sales. It's a salvage yard, and a little teaser. So we're gonna go inside, we're gonna check these out, and see if we come home with them. I'm gonna say yes just because they're seats. What could be so bad? But yeah, we'll go check these out and then load them up, get back to the house, and we'll get back to the engine stuff. So alright guys, we have returned from our road trip. Picking up seats. Brute, come on. So these are black Laramie seats out of a 19 truck. It was kind of a weird spec. 3.6 V6 Laramie interior with a, I forget what they call these, but the flip up center console. So it's got nice cup holders, all that fancy shit. Obviously, third gen interior is tan, seats are black, but gotta piss with what you got. So we're gonna go back out in the garage and do some rearranging, get the oil pan and whatnot buttoned up, and start cleaning the deck surface, throw the head on. So it's gonna be like a monkey fucking a football here. The problem here is that this needs to turn, but it's really heavy and this engine stand sucks, and I'm here by myself, so we're gonna have to get creative. Pull the engine stand out, engine hoist out real quick, and we'll get back with you. Okay, not as much as I would like it to be flipped, but best I can do. So we're gonna put the wear sleeve on the rear main and carry on. Now, punch the old seal out of here real quick, slap a new one in, and install. Alright guys, oil pan on, rear main on, and we are on to cleaning up the deck surface a little bit.
Oh yeah. Alright, to catch back up from last night, Andy has got everything pretty much buttoned up. I mean, obviously, there's small miscellaneous stuff. You guys saw the head getting torqued. He went ahead and threw the Ronin manifold on, and then the Finley Precision Inductions HE500 that we have here, just for looks purposes. It looks phenomenal. This is what was on the truck right before it went, so Duncan always hooking us up. But currently working on fuel line stuff. I'm going to have a video for that because a lot of people do the whole fuel bowl delete on these things, whether it's just for looks purposes, dual CP3 stuff, yeah, not fun, or I don't know, it's just a better...
You threw all your factory lines away and don't want to pay $400 to replace them.
That part. And Evil Energy can hook you up for much cheaper than that, so I'm going to do a video over that. I'm going to do a video making lines for this, so yeah, that's where Andy's at on the engine stuff, and I think I will separate these up into other videos, and we'll see what's going on. Doing? Huh? What are you doing? Huh? Well, the third gen has a heart that has made its way off of the stand into the truck, which, like Andy said last night, is the easy part. Setting it in there took literally 10 minutes. We are going to have to do a little feature over this guy here for Mr. Duncan because he was ever so kind to get one out here. Brand new, pretty cool housing and stuff, so we'll do a feature video over that Charger, just kind of introduce you guys to it as it's different than anything else on the market right now. So, but we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I ended up getting the fender flare put on the dually and 3M taped on, or wherever that foamy 3M tape is for this stuff. So we got that put on finally, which I'm thrilled about. I did something else, I cannot remember. I threw the cowl back on, I buffed that fender, I don't know, I can't remember what the hell else I did, but gotta wrap this video up. It's getting chilly out finally, which is not good. It's kind of breezy and 50 something degrees, and tonight it's gonna get down to 28, so I finally threw a little bit of coolant in the truck. Hopefully it doesn't freeze because it's been running water all summer. And yeah, so unfortunately the sad winter months are coming very soon. We're gonna try and keep getting some stuff done and last as long in the driveway as we can, I guess. But that's gonna wrap up this one, and hopefully when you guys see us next, I'll be doing some wiring on the dually because that does actually show up tomorrow, all the stuff to wire it. So that'll be moving, or we'll be making some progress, even though it'll be very cold out. I'll probably just have to suffer through it, but we'll get most of the fusible links kind of tidied up and get the box mounted soon. So, all right, until next time, we will see you guys on the Old School Crew. Peace out, keep kicking it old school.